A very hot topic right now is inventory restrictions on Amazon. Amazon for new products has been restricting inbound shipments to for new products to even like as small as 200 units per SKU. And this creates a lot of issues for people that I work with as well as myself. I recently launched a product about 4 weeks ago, and I was able to launch a product even though I was restricted to 200 units inbound. I was able to launch that product in the last 4 weeks and achieve some pretty great page one rankings. So here's a ranking that I achieved for a keyword that has about 60,000 searches. And I'm going to talk about the process, how I was able to do that, even though I had very restricted inventory. And the process that I use, it's a combination of inventory management and multi-touch point launching. So launching to my past customers using various touch points. So before I get into that, welcome to the channel if it's your first time here. My name is Ryan Rigney. I am an e-commerce seller. I've taught a couple hundred people Amazon as well as Shopify tactics. The reason I teach people is I have practiced what I preach. I have sold on Amazon. I still sell on Amazon as well as Shopify. Sold over 8 figures across the 2 channels. So what I'm trying to bring to YouTube is a practical perspective on strategies and tricks and tactics that actually work from somebody who's still doing it. So purpose of this channel, get people results without having to charge them anything. I want you to have results and know that these things work, and then hopefully the channel will grow organically as a result. So I'm planning to make more content more regularly. As you can see, I invested in my studio, put all these shelves up, new camera, better lighting. I actually have a new microphone on the way too, but due to COVID, everything's super delayed right now. So anyway, welcome to the channel. Please subscribe if it's your first time here so you get notifications when I come out with new content like this topic. So if this is interesting to you, I've got a lot more like this coming. So let's get into the content right now. So before I get into the multi-touch point launch, let me first talk about the inventory strategy. Basically, what Amazon is allowing us to do for new SKUs due to the COVID regulations is we can ship in about 200 units of a new SKU. That's as of the time I'm recording this. They might restrict that or change it more by the time you're watching this. Today's date, it's early September, so that's what the current restriction is. So what I did was I shipped in 200 units, and then after a couple weeks, as the sales started to trickle in, about 3 weeks in, I made another shipment. So this 200 units went pretty slow, mostly just for review acquisition. That was the main purpose of this. After about 3 weeks, I shipped in another 600. And I'm currently on about week 5 or 6 right now, and the limits have actually gone up from this as well. So now I can ship in more than 600 units. And this is allowing me to start picking up some momentum for various keywords. And generally, like a launch strategy, you need to drive sales velocity through keywords, right? That's true. However, you don't need to drive that many sales. And if you have full price sales coming from various sources, you don't even really need that many to get some ranks from what I'm seeing. As long as it's constant and it just keeps coming in as you build up naturally. Amazon kind of expects newer products to have like a gradual ramp up anyway. So what I do to accommodate this, basically if you're thinking like, how do I ship in 200 units and then 600 units a week later? What you want to do is if you're shipping from China, basically what you want to do is you want to have in the USA, you want to have a 3PL, a third-party logistics company. There's a lot of them, thousands of them in the US. And what you want to do is have your inventory stored at the 3PL, so it will ship from China to the 3PL. You'll have the inventory ready to go stateside. So when the restrictions on your inbounds to Amazon are lifted, you can trickle this in. And what I do is pretty much just check it every week. So every Friday, I go in and I try to schedule another shipment. So just create a regular schedule. That's the thing. You have to have the inventory ready to go, and you have to have a constant check every single week. So what I would do is suggest checking like on Wednesday and trying to create shipments for Fridays and just having it go out every single Friday. That's what I personally was doing, and that's how I was able to constantly have inventory coming in and mostly avoid stockouts. Can't avoid stockouts entirely if you have a hot product, but this does work pretty well. It's the best we can do for now. These restrictions will be lifted, so just be patient. They will be lifted. So multi-touch point launching. I'm going to talk about what this is and how I was able to use this to launch my products really with no rebates at all. The thing is, to have a multi-touch point launch, you need an existing audience. So a lot of you guys watching, Amazon sellers, might not have this. That's okay, but you need to have the mindset where you start building this. You can't expect yourself to have this from day one. Nobody has an audience from day one. You have to actually work at it, and you have to have a strategy to achieve this. So where do you get an audience? I mean, that's really going to depend on what you're selling. Different products do better in different marketplaces. For me, my audience consists of a few things. So when I'm launching a new product, if I just have 200 units, I want to make it count. So I want to get reviews quickly. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to reach out to my existing ManyChat Facebook Messenger audience. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to message them and say, this product is on sale for the next 3 days. Make sure you go and you buy it before the sale is over. Just give them a time limit. Don't do a coupon. Don't do a promo code. Just reduce the price. This works perfectly well. You don't even really need to do a rebate. If you feel like your audience isn't warm enough and they don't really trust you enough, like you have a random deal-based ManyChat page, then this might not work. You might need to do a more substantial rebate. But if you have an audience that has bought from you previously and you feel you have some brand equity there, just having a discount of even say like 30% off retail, and you launch it and you just give them a time window, that can work well. And how do you reach out to these people? You use a paid message. So what I would do is reach out to all the people on your ManyChat audience who you think might be interested in this product using a paid message, paid broadcast. And this can be promotional. And just give them a time window and say 30% off, no promo coupon needed. Go to Amazon, type this keyword, find the product. This is what it looks like. Easy enough. You don't even need anything fancy. The other places that you go for this, so this is touch point number 1, right? Number 2, email. So this can be people from your website who didn't convert. You might not want to send all of your website customers to Amazon to try to get them to buy on Amazon, because it's better to have a customer buying on your website than on Amazon, because you have more control over that customer journey. You don't have competition on your website. Once you get them to buy on your website, you don't want to get them to bounce back to Amazon, because that's just going to make things more complicated. But what you can do is find people who haven't bought from you yet and do the Amazon promo, send them there. Or you can just do the email blast and actually launch it on your website, and a lot of people will go to Amazon and find it. Just by curiosity, they'll find it as well. That works pretty well. So when I launched my product, I actually just did a broadcast to all of my existing email list. It's about, I say, 35,000 people. And that was a time-limited promo, 30% off. And I did the same exact thing I did on ManyChat, and I just said, go to Amazon. For the people that didn't buy on the website, I sent them to Amazon. The people that have bought previously on the website, I sent them to the website. A lot of those people probably did go back to Amazon anyway. So email, simple template, basically just do the same thing that you're doing on Messenger. That's touch point number 2. And just to clarify, touch point meaning places where you interact with your customer, right? And a lot of people that sell on Amazon don't have touch points with their customer, but that's why you need to work on building these. Lots of different ways to build these up. Briefly, to build up your ManyChat audience, you can do that with previous launches. That's one way. The other way is collecting it from your website, from a landing page. You can also collect it from product inserts if you want to take that route from your Amazon sales. I don't really like that method, but that is something you can do. The other way you can get ManyChat people to subscribe is by having Facebook groups and collecting a ManyChat audience through your Facebook groups. And that brings me to touch point number 3, Facebook groups. So this one is really valuable because it allows you a way to communicate with your customers. A lot of you guys watching this video actually probably are members of my Facebook group, my Amazon FBA Marketing Secrets Facebook group. So I'm just flashing it on the screen there. So I use that group to grow awareness for my YouTube channel. I do the same exact thing for my e-commerce store. I have topic-based groups. I grow them organically, and then I build up leads through that. So I have an assistant who goes in and manages the group. I have a whole process broken out to grow these as well as manage them. They work extremely well for building relationships with customers. And when you launch a product, it's really easy to just make a post and say, new product's out, here's where to get it. And you can leverage these for launches, which is what I've done. And this does actually tie into building up your list too. So you could actually do what's called a messenger reference URL growth tool, ManyChat growth tool. You can post that in the Facebook group, you can build leads, and you can build up your ManyChat list like that. If you're not familiar with a messenger reference URL growth tool, I'm going to include a link in the description to this video that you can click, and you can read more about that as well. So the next touch point here, touch point number 4, the one that I use is influencer network. Okay. So over the years, what I've done is I have an Instagram page for my brand. I don't manage this myself. I have a social media manager that I've hired and trained. And one of her core jobs is to find what I call micro influencers. So what she does is she finds people who are willing to exchange trying the product and posting about it for a free product. All they really want is a free product, and in exchange, you will get a photo and some awareness across their network. These micro influencers generally don't have many followers. That's why they're willing to do it for free. But when you have a lot of them, it can build a really great grassroots effect for your product. So if you have 50 micro influencers who get your product on day 1 of your launch, and they all post on the same exact day, it creates a lot of sales if you do it and you time it in the right way. So I will actually leverage this as well. I tell my social media coordinator, go find micro influencers based on various criteria, reach out to them, send them the product, get them all to post on the same day, which is launch day. And that creates a little bit of a wave in your favor of your product getting awareness. Number 5, the 5th one that we'll use is retargeting ads. So anyone who is engaging with your page, anyone who's buying on your website, anyone who's going on your Amazon product insert pages, lots of different places where you should have pixels installed. And what you can do is you can create a retargeting ad that goes into, you can go into a chatbot, or you can go to a landing page. So chatbot or a landing page, and you just send them to Amazon if you want that sale on Amazon. So if you were to say retargeting ad to landing page, then you just go to a landing page that says 30% off until X date. Get them to buy on Amazon through keywords. I don't use any like 2-step URLs or any fancy URLs. I just tell them go to Amazon and search this and find it. Search, find, buy, full price. This works well if the audience is warm and they were about to buy anyway and they know who you are. If it's a new product, they obviously weren't about to buy anyway, but they probably are warm because they are pixeled. If you've done a good job nurturing them on your site through wherever it is you contacted them, it should be somebody who's familiar with your brand. If you use this strategy with a cold audience, not going to work. You're going to burn a lot of money, not going to get results. So I would say really make sure if you're doing retargeting ads, focus it in on people who are further along in the buyer cycle, so they're more likely to buy. Otherwise, you're just going to be draining money. So those are my 5 touch points that I always use. Just to summarize, it's the ManyChat, Facebook Messenger, my email list, Facebook groups, influencer network, and retargeting ads. So when you have all 5 of those combined, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I always use those. And it gives you a really good and consistent sales boost because you can actually time it like however you want. You can say it's valid for the next 7 days. You can do these at different intervals just to kind of keep it gradually moving if you want to. What I personally did was I had it all happen through a course of like a week. It was about a week. It wasn't like super defined, like here's 3 days where I'm going to do it. It was about the period of a week, and then the sales and the reviews gradually came in because the product was optimized well, and I didn't even need to do any rebates. It actually just sort of ranked on its own. So you don't always need to do rebates. You need to do rebates if you have no social like equity with your audience doesn't know who you are, your product's brand new to the market, and you just have no social capital, right? Rebates are a great way to kickstart that. If you're finding that you're not ranking and this 1 through 5 is not something that you're able to do in the short term, or it doesn't work for you, then you can add rebates and add a little fuel to the fire. So that's basically the process for using these touch points, the multi-touch point launch. And this was actually effective even though I had inventory restrictions for competitive keywords with a lot of searches. So just my 2 cents on the matter, my experience ranking. If you guys have any questions on this, you want me to elaborate further in more videos, just let me know. And hopefully you like the studio. So thanks for watching, guys. See you next time.